If you have cake mix in your pantry and you feel like using it up, but you don't want to make a cake, you should make cake mix cookies. And today I'm going to show you how to do it with tons of different cake mixes and lots of different mix-ins and ideas. You're not going to want to miss it. It's Dorothy with crazyforcrust.com and welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are talking all about cookies, cake mix cookies. Those are cookies that are made from a cake mix. With just 3 basic ingredients, you can use any flavor cake mix and you can use any like add-ins, chocolate chips, you can leave them plain, do frosting. There are so many different ways you can make these cookies. They're super soft and delicious and easy. You're gonna love them, I promise. For more delicious desserts and easy recipes, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Now let's get in the kitchen. All right, for this recipe, you just need a basic cake mix. It can be any brand. Most of the cake mixes nowadays are between 15 and 16 ounces. The regular ones, Betty Crocker, Duncan Hines, they're all 15.25 ounces. You can check that down here. So just make sure that you're using a box that has between 15 and 16 ounces in it to use this recipe. Now you can choose any flavor you want. So today we're gonna make lemon, chocolate, vanilla, red velvet. You can use any flavor cake mix and any brand, and this recipe still works. This recipe is super simple. It's a 1-bowl recipe. All you have to do is add your 3 ingredients to the bowl. That's going to be 1/2 cup of melted butter, your cake mix, and 2 large eggs. And that's it. That's all you need to make cake mix cookies. 3 simple ingredients. Now I know a lot of cookie recipes start with softened butter. I like using melted because it makes it super simple. I don't have to use a mixer. I can just stir it by hand. I know some cake mix cookie recipes call for oil. I just like the flavor of butter better. And I also find that they don't spread as much if you're using butter than if you're using oil. Once it's all combined, you have to decide what you want to add for your mix-ins. So for the chocolate cookies today, we're adding chocolate chips. For the yellow cake mix, I'm adding M&Ms. For the strawberry cake mix and the lemon cake mix, I'm adding white chocolate chips. And today I'm leaving the red velvet cookies plain. But you can add anything you want. You can use any kind of chips, you can add nuts, any kind of chopped candy, chopped Oreos or similar kinds of cookies, sprinkles. I've done this so many different ways. Use any mix-ins that you want. All right, once you have your mix-in stirred in, then it's time to scoop your cookies. So again, you can make these any size that you want. I like a 2 tablespoon cookie scoop. I find that it makes a nice cookie and you get about 24 of them. So go ahead and scoop those onto your cookie sheet. Now, we're not gonna bake these right away. I know you probably want them right now, but you have to chill this dough, especially because we started with melted butter. If we don't want them to just spread and flatten all over our cookie sheets, we need to put them in the refrigerator, chill them for at least 30 minutes or an hour. Once the cookies are chilled, preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and then you're gonna spread your cookies out on your cookie sheet. Make sure to use parchment paper or a Silver Hat baking mat so that they don't stick. And you're gonna bake these until they are no longer glossy on top. Now, if we compare the different cookies, you'll see that the vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate ones I made stayed really puffy, and they do kind of flatten a little bit as they start to cool. They fall just a slight bit, but they're still nice and thick and puffy. And if you look at the red velvet and lemon cookies, they're a lot flatter. And that's because those are Duncan Hines versus Betty Crocker. So there are slight differences between the cake mix, which is why it's really, really important to chill the dough. If we had just baked those lemon or red velvet, the Duncan Hines ones right off the bat, they would have completely flattened and been like a gooey mess on the cookie sheet. So you have to make sure and chill them. And just know that if you're using Duncan Hines, they're gonna be a little bit flatter. If you're using Betty Crocker, they're gonna be a little bit fatter. So that's just kind of, that also tells you, do you want fat cookies or do you want skinny cookies? That will kind of help you decide which cake mix brand to buy. Now with the red velvet cookies, I'm using a cream cheese frosting. You can buy a can, you can use my cream cheese frosting recipe, which I will link up here, just to frost the cookies. I love cream cheese frosting with red velvet. I mean, the frosting would go, you could frost any of these cookies. So again, it's making a cake mix cookie. It's one of those things where it's really what you're feeling like. Clean out your pantry, see what you have that you wanna use up and use those as mix-ins. There's so many different ways. It's so versatile to make these cookies. You can see that they're nice and soft and gooey inside, regardless of what brand or what flavor. The flavors it really does have that cake taste. So it's like you're eating cake and a cookie, and it kind of is like a mind game. It's like, wait, is this a cake or is it a cookie? Because it has the texture of a cookie, but that telltale flavor of cake that you expect from a cake mix. These are so delicious. There's so many different ways to make them. I want you to leave me a comment and let me know which cake mix and what mix-ins that you would use, what would be your favorite, and then just keep watching for even more cookie recipes.